The following is brought to you by the People's National Party.
Make the trumpets play. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. To get champion, we can do it together. When we look to the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the PSP. People say the bag of promises, them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting higher, wonder when it all goes now come Rex. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. To get champion.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National Party.
Eternal Father, bless, guide us with thy mighty hand, keep us free from evil powers, be our light through comfort. To our leaders, great defenders, grant wisdom from above, justice, truth be ours forever. Jamaica, land we love. Jamaica, Jamaica, land we love. Teach us true respect for all. Response to duty's call. Strengthen us the weak. Give us wisdom lest we perish.
The following is a public service announcement.
The Diaspora Crime Intervention and Prevention Task Force and One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation invite Jamaican patriots and friends in the tri-state area to the second staging of a call to action. Meet us on Friday, May 10th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Jamaica's Consulate, located at 300 East 42nd Street, corner 2nd Avenue in Manhattan. That's a call to action for Jamaicans and friends of Jamaica who are seeking the best solutions for Jamaica. May 10th at 9 a.m. at the Jamaican Consulate at 42nd Street and 2nd Avenue. Listen to Reason with Radigan Saturdays at 3 p.m. on Reggae Global Radio and YouTube for updates.
Hello. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to each and every one. Welcome to those who are tuning in on the television. Happy Tuesday to our silent supporters. Happy Tuesday to those in the chat. Thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate each and every one. Guys, remember when you come in, thumbs up the live, share us out if you can. And if you're new to the channel, please show us some support by subscribing. That will be greatly appreciated. So tonight's topic is constitutional crisis and chaos with your host, Byron and Anne-Marie. So I'm going to go ahead and just welcome those in the chat. Youngs, Valerie Alexander, Truck Life, Don Mel, Noreen Dennison, Freedom, Universal, Larry Beckford, I said Freedom already, Don Mel, Judith Livermore, Louis Longshaw, Cynthia B, or a channel member, Maureen Vassell, Janet Jones, Vendetta, King Lord, Pamela Okolo, Noel Williams, Pauline, Mr. G, welcome everyone. Happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate the support. I'm not going to delay. I'm just going to hand over to Baron because it's already late. So just going to go ahead and start.
All right. Thank you, honey. Yes. To the chat. To persons in the diaspora, right? TV land, right? Big up yourself. For all our new subscribers, I want to say a big thank you, and we all welcoming you on board. We are happy for you to be a part of this family, right? During our growth process, right? Thank you for being a part of us. Now, people, let me say this, because it just seems like I'm a prophet. I don't know. Everything that I so far spoke about the Jamaica Labour Party seems to be just, the puzzles just fitting in the right place. We are seeing a tumbling in the Jamaica Labour Party. And I am going to say that, of course, we are going to see more bleeding in the Jamaica Labour Party. There is a lot of things to be unearthed. And as such, of course, we are going to anticipate and we are going to see things falling apart, because it is not going to get any better going forward. Going forward, it's not going to be better. So what we have to do is just brace ourselves for the worst to come. And we know that the worst, right, is yet to come. Now, prior to the local government election, I want to show people who Andrew Holness is. Prior to the local government election, during one of Andrew Holness' campaign, right, he went on the pulpit saying that to his people, giving them a word of good advice. So the Prime Minister stated that whenever people go low, right, he was directing his people to go high, quoting Michelle Obama landmark speech. And here we are, as it relates to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister stated that he is going to correct any behavior from anyone, any member of the Parliament, as it relates to disinformation and misinformation. And my Jamaican people, I am going to show you the evidence where the Prime Minister himself sowing the seed of disinformation, sowing the seed of misinformation, continuing down a lie path, right, and continue to be conniving and deceiving. What am I talking about? The Prime Minister recently came out with propaganda as it relates to Finac. And I believe, honestly, that the Prime Minister needs some genuine prayer. Now, the Prime Minister, they completed the Finac report. And let me say this to you, Andrew Holness. You, along with your member of Parliament, know what is in the Finac report. And so then, for truthfulness, for once, truthfulness and clarity, why don't you speak the truth or reveal the Finac report? Noel Williams said, yes, sir, Byron, it's just the beginning. Lots more heads to roll. Definitely. Why don't you speak the truth as it relates to the Finac report? Why don't you reveal the Finac report as opposed to giving red meat to your base, right? Telling lies where you definitely know that is lie. But let me tell you something. Before I prove to the people, because I'm going to expose it tonight, I am going to again, because it might be you have not heard about Mystic Sensation, right? And obviously, you didn't realize that I have released the truth about the Finac report from WikiLeaks itself. So Prime Minister Andrew Holness and for his minions out there, we are going to reveal the evidence again. But before we go into it, all right, make we just deals with Father God up above, because it's our Father God, our heavenly God, right? Having a special hand on Jamaica Labour Party as a result of their wickedness and their lie. So without any delay, let us call upon our prayer, our prayer mothers, you understand, to have a prayer, right, for Andrew. Without any delay, let us give him a prayer before we correct him. We have to give him this prayer before we correct him, people. Right? He must get this prayer. So let us, right, give a word of prayer to him.
I said, don't you trouble Zion. Where you go, don't you trouble Zion. Somebody touched my God. I said, Zion, I'm a key to open singers on. Don't you trouble Zion. When the church said, oh, yo. Oh, yo. Yes, sir.
All right, Andrew. Now, people, let us hear Andrew Holness. Let us hear Andrew Holness. Doubling down with propaganda, spreading propaganda. And this is the viciousness where Jamaican people should know that this man is extremely vicious. Without any delay, let us get into it and listen to Andrew Holness.
We cannot in any way allow the performance of the government to be devalued in the minds of the people. I find it a curious argument that the party that is responsible for Finac, the greatest devastation of Jamaica's economic base, the cause of great poverty in the country. It's a curious position from a party that decimated Jamaica's middle class, Jamaica's skills and talent, where all those people left the country, not just with their skills and talent, but with their resources. That under their watch, murders crossed the 1,000 threshold and have stayed there since. Curious argument for them to want to rehold the office of government purely on the basis that some time has come. There is no commitment, no vision, nothing has been put forward that would demonstrate that they would be able to handle the challenges that we have had as a government better than how we have done it.
Let us get serious as it relates to those vicious lies that the Prime Minister, right, who should set a better example as it relates to transparency, checks and balance, and most of all, honesty and integrity. And this is why the Prime Minister have a problem with his statutory declaration. The lies that he continue to tell the Integrity Commission, and the lies that he continue to tell Jamaican people. Right? Now, I want Jamaican people to listen to what the Prime Minister said, knowing that it is his government who had done the greatest devastation. That is what came out of Andrew Mount. That Finac caused the greatest devastation. Now, secondly, Finac, right, as it relates to what he said, that the PNP party decimated Jamaican middle class. So I want for Jamaican people to understand the damages of what Finac had done as it relates to what Andrew Holness is saying, Andrew Holness said, let me repeat it. It is the greatest devastation, right? Where I am going to go parallel with him because I believe that Finac damage is one of the greatest devastation that Jamaica experienced. Number two, Andrew Holness stated that, right, a party decimated Jamaica middle class. As it relates to what Finac had done, Andrew Holness is telling Jamaican people that Finac decimated Jamaica middle class. People, I want you to hear it, Not my word. It's the Prime Minister's word. It's the Prime Minister saying that. The Prime Minister acknowledged that Finac, right, had done these things. And here we are, finally, where the Prime Minister also stated that under previous government, the crime passed over 1,000, as if his government control it. Under the previous government, right, Portia Simpson handed over the crime rate to him at 1,208. And between the period of 2016 until we speak, Andrew Holness-led government never took the crime rate below 1,208. Andrew Holness administration, so the blatant lies that the Prime Minister can stand up, right, in the public, make a public statement, which we all know in Jamaica. We all know in Jamaica that the Prime Minister administration has not brought the crime rate under 1,208, where Portia Simpson, right, handed it over to him. I wonder if we should try to find that document. Go on. You know what, people? I am going to expose him. In every way, I'm going to expose him. Before I go into the document, let me break down what he said as it relates to crime. I am going to do a live Google search as it relates to Jamaica Constabulary Force crime statistics. And I'm going to show people as it relates to where Portia Simpson handed it over to him at 1,208. Right? Do a Google search for the people. Right? Make them mash up the first slide. Right? Let me mash up the first slide to show you megawatt. Him can't do that. You want the party to collapse. No. If Finac was the greatest devastation, why don't he release the report, right? Him hiding something. I mean, come on. Just imagine that they have the got you moment, right? As it relates to, revealing, getting the evidence to expose the PNP. Why you don't expose the PNP, Andrew Holness? Why you don't expose the PNP? This is the gotcha moment. The Finac report finish. It is the gotcha moment. Why you don't release it? No, you find it. This is your gotcha moment, right? Jamaica Constable Crime Force. This is your gotcha moment, right? Why don't you release the report so that people can witness it, as opposed to you coming out and speaking and talk about, right, the greatest devastation, right, the decimation of Jamaica middle class. Yes, I agree with you that the Finac, the Finac report, right, the Finac situation has done that. But first, if we can share it. Go down at bottom. Go down at bottom.
Here?
Yeah. Is it shared?
Not yet.
I want to take all your lies in pieces and make people see your lies in pieces. Right? Dismantle your lies tonight. Right? You can't escape with a bag of lie. It's here?
Yep.
Okay, so I want the people to see this. I want the people to see this. Mr. Prime Minister, with your bag of lie. Right? Now, look. Here is the Jamaican people. 2012. Right? To 2015 was Portia Simpson. Under Portia Simpson as it relates to the crime rate. And people there it is big and bold. It is 200. You're there seeing it?
Okay, hold on.
Because I want them to see it.
It's at 200.
Okay. Thank you. So here is Portia Simpson, 2012. Right? The rate was 1,102. 2013, 1,202. 2014, 1,005. 2015, where Portia Simpson left it to you, 1,208. Now, Andrew Holness, please take responsibility of your administration. 2016, you were the Prime Minister. The crime rate went to 1,354 under your administration. You, Andrew Holness, have been the Prime Minister of Jamaica between 2016 and currently speaking. 2016, crime rate 1,354. 2017, crime rate 1,647. 2018, yes, take down here 1,287. 2019, 1,339. 2020, 1,323. And we know that 2021 and 2022, the crime rate went up into the 1,400 and add bracket. Please remember this, Prime Minister. Here is the data and the Jamaica Constabulary Force. So when you're coming out telling your bag of lies and see where Portia left it there, you have never, under your watch 2016 to 2020, you have never taken it down to 1,208. Take away that. Take away that, honey. Let me just show them the first lie, what we are dismantling. Now let us go now to the art of the lie. What the lie Joe released the Finac report. Oh, you mean Universal? So let us cross off that. We are getting to him tonight. No, you claim the Finac report, I wish Mystic Sensation agree with you. You understand what you, right, your party has done, what Edward Philip George Siaga had done with the Jamaican people, right? The greatest devastation as a result of Dan Crawford and Edward Philip George Siaga. Yes. Are you straight out of your mouth, you know? Are you saying these words out of your mouth, you know? That Finac was the greatest devastation, you know? Are you saying it out of your mouth? And you said that they decimated Jamaica middle class, which I believe. So now, let us go into the WikiLeaks report and show Jamaica, you understand, what you so speak of as it relates to truth, but who do it? You CM1, your party, Jamaica Labour Party, guilty of Finac. Let us show the Jamaican people, home and abroad, who is guilty of Finac. Without any further ado, rise it, honey.
Okay.
Till you say, Master, God, oh God. God in the morning. God in the evening. Master God, oh God. Bring up the FinSAC report. You think we play with you? You think you can pass? You can't pass that, man. Mystic Sensation, Aromatic, Wayne Lonesome, right? Jamaica Carlos. You can't pass. Or you have to pass. One day east, one day west, one day north, one day south. You can't pass. No, let us read it for Jamaican people. Summary number 1. Dan Crawford, former head of the failed Century National Bank, has lost his appeal to the Privy Council following a 1999 conviction in civil court for financial fraud and has been instructed to repay about US dollars 45 million to the government of Jamaica. Although the Director of Public Prosecution has made a ruling on whether criminal charges will be filed, that ruling has not yet been made public. Crawford, who resides in the US, was once the darling of the Jamaican banking sector. He was often lauded by government of Jamaica officials for his foray into non-banking areas at a time when investors were shunning the productive sector to benefit from the high interest rate regime. However, Crawford's bank, which made a number of loans to connected parties, was soon to face a liquidity and solvency crisis and had to seek assistance from the state. Recognizing the extent of the deficit, the authorities took control of the bank and eventually charged Crawford for financial fraud. So I'm going to go back to start explain what this means. Right? When the People's National Party recognized the extent of the deficit that Dan Crawford had done, right, the authorities took control of the bank and eventually charged Crawford for financial fraud. Now, people, it is widely believed that his close affiliation with the opposition Jamaica Labour Party, Andrew Holness, come here. Come here, Andrew Holness. Come stand up. Come stand up in front of the class. Let us read this now, Andrew Holness, to you. It is widely believed that his close affiliation with the opposition Jamaica Labour Party, not People's National Party, did not help his cause, as no other banker has been charged. Crawford's lawyers are in the process of discussing payment, which if made would provide a much needed windfall to the cash-strapped government of Jamaica. Right, end of summary number 1. Let us go to summary number 2 now. We get more interested people. The UK-based Privy Council on October 10 ruled that Dan Crawford and former top executives of the failed Century National Bank (CNB) must pay the government of Jamaica an estimated 45 million in principal and interest for unsecured loans made ahead of the bank's collapse in 1996. Take the people their money, you understand, and give it to him friend. You understand? Give all unsecured loan. You want to give it to people. You want to give it to. The Privy Council is expected to announce the final amount payable to the state when it hands down its written judgment later this month. The Privy Council ruling arose from the appeal of March 1999 decision by Jamaica Chief Justice Leslie Wolf, in which he berated the actions of Crawford and another top executive, Cable Williams, who he described as rogue bankers. They were busy helping themselves to the bank's funds, Wolf said in his judgment at the time. These payments constitute a misapplication of the bank's funds. However, Crawford, who reportedly resides in Atlanta, was once regarded as a model banker, and government of Jamaica functionaries viewed this bank as a blueprint. Crawford was often lauded by government of Jamaica officials for venturing into non-banking areas such as real estate at a time when investors were shunning productive investment to benefit from the government Jamaica high interest rate policy. Ironically, in summary number 3, it was Crawford foray into non-core activities, which was partly responsible for the bank demise, as a number of unsecured loans were made to connected parties to finance these investments. In particular, the bank made loans to companies owned by Crawford. People look here now. The bank made loans to companies owned by Crawford, his mother, and former opposition leader and Prime Minister Edward Siaga. Andrew Holness, come here. You come in front of the class, Andrew Holness. You admit that the Jamaica Labour Party, you speak it out of your mouth, right? That Finac decimated the Jamaica middle class. You spoke out of your mouth that Finac is the greatest devastation. So you can't take it back, you know. You can't take it back. So come in front of the class, Andrew Holness. Let me read back over here for you. In particular, the bank made loans to companies owned by Crawford, his mother, and former opposition leader and Prime Minister Edward Siaga. One such loan was made to an affiliated company to construct over 700-room Renaissance Hotel. The unsecured loans to connected parties took a toll on the liquidity and solvency of the bank when they could not be financed. This prompted the institution to approach the government of Jamaica for assistance. Uno go to the government for assistance. You understand? After Dan Crawford, right, and Edward Siaga damage the banking system, right, with unsecured loan, lend over $31 million to Edward Philip George Siaga, who said him never member for pay it back. Dan Crawford, you understand, was a Jamaica Labour Party activist. All of the persons who he associated with were Jamaica Labour Party, including Edward Philip George Siaga, who took $31 million, right, of Jamaican investors' money. Steal it. Edward Siaga stole it. Stole it. So you come stand up. You come stand up in front of the class, Andrew Holness. This prompted the institution to approach government of Jamaica for assistance in 1996 when funds were not available to pay the depositors. After the thief for the people their money and mash up the people them in Jamaica. After you make the middle class become decimated, you make people, you understand, run away. You make a lot of people kill themselves. The people them never know, say, Dan Crawford and Edward Philip George Siaga do this. Edward Philip George Siaga, right? Edward Philip George Siaga. Now, the Director of Public Prosecution, DPP, who was called into the probe the activities of the bank, ruled that Crawford, his mother, and top executives were to be charged for financial fraud. It is widely held that his close affiliation with the Jamaica Labour Party, come back to Andrew Holness. It is widely held that his close affiliation with the Jamaica Labour Party is not an affiliation with People's National Party. So release the Finac report. Andrew Holness, me I beg you to release the Finac report and tap from your propaganda pulpit. You understand? Continue to tell lie and deceive the Jamaican people. You're a liar, right? Let me read it over. It is widely held that his close affiliation with the Jamaica Labour Party did not help his cause. As to date, no other banker has been charged, despite the failure of other institutions. However, the Privy Council ruling could well provide a precedent for other financial sector players to be charged. Head of the Financial Fraud Unit in the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, DPP, Caroline here. We're glad say I never Paula Llewellyn there, so because if Paula Llewellyn there, so you wouldn't hear about this. Nobody would have hear about this. Nobody would have charged. They wouldn't charge him for Paula Llewellyn there, so was hesitant to comment on whether there were other cases pending against other former bankers she suggested that Embuff write to DPP Kent Pantry for a response. Now, lawyers representing Crawford do not expect any criminal charges to be brought against their client. After no one for do. After you are Andrew Holness one for do. You understand me, dear? Misappropriate taxpayers' money. I don't know if you get charged. Thief of taxpayers' money. I don't know if you get charged. Although he was investigated by fraud squad following the collapse of the bank, the lawyer said the next step is for both sides to meet and discuss the final figures to be paid by Crawford. The next step, right, is for Crawford to go into prison. If the debt is repaid, it will provide a welcome windfall for the coffers of the government of Jamaica, particularly given the continued underperformance in revenues. A point captured by a cartoonist at the Gleaner newspaper. The cartoon showed an expectant finance minister, Omar Davis. Yeah, you see that all draw all a cartoon now for all a mock Omar Davis. You understand? For saying him away for money from Crawford for send back the money for give back to the people them. You see it, and then turn around now. Wicked Andrew Holness now. Don't turn around. And I talk about PNP. You understand? See that? Hear the information. Listen, Andrew Holness. The cartoon showed an expectant finance minister, Omar Davis, inquiring after the distraught Crawford when he would be sending back the people their money. Omar Davis had begged him to send back the people their money, while at the same time informing him that he could send it through a leading remittance company. Chief Fiscal Economist at the Ministry of Finance, Courtney Williams, told Embuff that if the money is repaid, then it would be more than welcome. But he is of the opinion that the government of Jamaica might only receive a portion of the judgment amount. Williams told Embuff that he was aware of a case against Paul Cheng Young. People will go back in a hit. People before we go back in a Paul Cheng Young now. Finac 2.0. Which part Andrew Holness carry off, but the people, before we go back in it, trust me, man, the power too high. We have to hit. God. Hit and expire. Hit and expire, mommy. Hit and expire. Hit and expire.
I said, Daniel, God of God. What? Daniel, God of God. Shit, God of God. Shit, God of Heathen. Daniel, God. I said, don't you trouble Zion. Where you go, Panton? Don't you trouble Zion. Somebody touch God. I said, Zion of a key to open singers on. No, you trouble Zion. What a church said, yo. Yo. That's that.
All right, people. So let you touch them now.
Going back to this.
Yes, close up. So just imagine, people. Take off this because the heat are coming down, and we are going to give them the heat in here, man. Let me take off this. All right. Feeling the heat. Now, people, let me show you and explain the extreme cruelty of Andrew Holness. Believing that he's smart. Believe that he can step in the Jamaican people's neck and get away with it. But Andrew Holness, may I warn you. You understand? You can't get away with it. We here on social media is not going to allow you to get away with it. You are not going to get away with it. So we see we are Dan Crawford and Edward Philip George Siaga, right? Damage Jamaica middle class as a result of FinSac. Damage Jamaica middle class as a result of FinSac. But it never stopped there. It never stopped there. Right? So while Paul Cheng Young, you understand, who is Dan Crawford's friend, who affiliated with Jamaica Labour Party, they are affiliated with all of these people that I'm talking about are labor rights. Labor rights. Right? All of these people that I'm talking about are labor rights. So after labor rights, triggered FinSac, damaged the middle class, and what Andrew Holness said, right, a devastating blow to the Jamaican people. Now, let me show you what happened again with Trafigura, because SSL, I am going into, where Andrew Holness know about Paul Cheng Young, Andrew Holness know about FinSac, and Andrew Holness and, let me say, Andrew Holness and Hugh Trafigura recreated Paul Cheng Young and Associates, right, into SSL, and again execute FinSac 2.0 and Jamaican people again. Andrew Holness, you're wicked. I have never seen no prime minister in the history of the Caribbean has that level of wickedness and cruelty. Right? You are cold-blooded, Andrew Holness. You're a reptile. Jamaican. Cool down, boss. Andrew was running around in short pants, possible diapers when this was going on. All right. We have to burn the fire wicked, You understand? When we see your liar the traffic, you understand? Imagine after they know that they are the ones who caused FinSac, damage the middle class of Jamaica. Here is the man coming out. Here is the man coming out to say what? You understand? To double down on wickedness and him cruelty and him evil. Right? This man is evil beyond evil. Evil beyond evil. Now, let us bring up Trafigura, a short quote to show, you know where I'm going? I am going to show people that Hugh Trafigura, right, had been running with Paul Cheng Young from in 1995 from those years. You understand? Wrapping up people money, tricking people, right, and robbing investors' money. You are going to see that Trafigura, right, running along with Paul Cheng Young, right, and now Andrew Holness running along with Hugh Trafigura. I'm going to show you. Now, lift up the document. Trafigura, a short code of cooperation. Ultimate evil, wicked, to have the audacity is to show you how he undermined Jamaican people, right? As if history is not here. That everybody is, right? He just think that, majority of Jamaica uninformed, they are deaf. So let me remind Jamaica, right? Trafigura assures court of cooperation and Cheng Young properties, right? So we are showing people that Hugh Trafigura here, right? SSL is not his first rodeo. He has done this before. Trick investors and take away their money. Trick investors and take away their money. Now, the Supreme Court has lifted the injunction against Hugh Trafigura in his capacity as trustee of Phoenix Note Holders Trust. The stockbroker has announced in a public statement. Justice Marjorie Cole-Smith had initially placed an injunction on Trafigura to May 10th and had given him 14 days to declare the locations of all the assets held by him on behalf of Phoenix, whether in his own name or nominees. Yes. Trafigura says he has given his undertaking to the court not to dispose of any assets held by the trust without notice or consent. The assets were frozen in mid-April on the application of Jamaica Solicitor General Michael Hilton QC, who had traced ownership of the properties held by Phoenix to Paul Cheng Young, former head of the collapsed Eagle Group of companies. Yes, you understand, along with Dan Crawford, right, giving away, you understand, the investors' money, right, to his family, to Edward Philip George Siaga. This is where it is coming from. The Miami court has since lifted the freeze on Cheng Young, which means he's free to transact business with them in that jurisdiction. Croskery said of his role in the trust that he acted purely in a representative capacity as trustee for a small group of investors who put up the funds to purchase houses. I see everything you're saying at SSL now. As trustee, he ensured that their investments were protected. The statement said, you Croskery, you wicked. Courts in Jamaica and Florida had barred Cheng Young and Croskery from disposing of the assets on the application of Eagle Merchant Bank and Crown Eagle Life. Two of Cheng Young's former companies commandeered by the Jamaican government at the advent of the financial sector meltdown. Croskery has again asserted that the freezing order was not related to his securities, Brokerage Stocks and Security Limited, formerly Paul Cheng Young and Associates, of which he is a chairman. Hilton presented evidence to the Kingston and Miami courts showing that Cheng Young, despite a court order on May 4th, people want to listen to this, 2006, to declare his assets and not to deal with or dispose of any properties without approval, had transferred 19 properties to Croskery. You see what I'm doing? Transfer 19 properties to Croskery. So you Croskery, right, is the same bang around you carry on at SSL, right? Take the people their money, right? Go buy your property, transfer it in a different people's name, at the same bang around you going with in a SSL. See the evidence here. And the first week, Hilton presented evidence to the Kingston and Miami court showing that Cheng Young, despite a court order on May 4, 2006, to declare his assets and not to deal with or dispose of any properties without approval, had transferred 19 properties to Croskery on May 12, just days after the judgment against him to pay over 900 million plus interest. The same thing you're going with in a SSL. Same thing. 3 other properties were transferred to Croskery on May 24th and June 15th of that same year. The former Eagle boss also held 170 Florida properties. When you see what they take the people their money go do, people, when you look what they take the people their money go do. The former Eagle boss also held 170 Florida properties in a company of which he was president, director, and treasurer. Contempt of the court hearing against Cheng Young are set for July 5th, at which time the Solicitor General is expected to argue. Right? Yes. No. People, one of the companies that relates to Paul Cheng Young and Associates, let me tell you people what I go on. Right? So Andrew Holness know about this. Andrew Holness know about Finac with Dan Crawford, Edward Philip Jasiaga, Paul Cheng Young, you Croskery, the whole of them are labor right. All of them are labor right. Right? Paul Cheng Young and Associates, right, was given to you Croskery by Paul Cheng Young. It is the same Paul Cheng Young and Associate being transferred and the name changed to SSL. Come man, come you Croskery man. Yes, Paul Cheng Young and Associates. It is the same name that you Croskery change and call it SSL, Stock Security Limited. The reason why you Croskery change it is because you Croskery didn't want the history of Paul Cheng Young and Associates and the history of Finac miss up, you understand, to have a reflection on SSL. or to identify that SSL is going to do the same thing over and over again. So when Mystic Sensation said SSL is FinSac 2.0, Mystic Sensation had done the investigation, tracked the entire history, and able to link Paul Cheng Young and associates right into SSL. Let us start now, people. Andrew Holness, Andrew Holness would have known all of this history. Andrew Holness would have known all of this history. Andrew Holness and you, Crosby, are better friends. So Andrew Holness would have known the entire Bandulu is him. So then in 2000, right, and 16, the FSC flag, right? And we want to tell the people in 2016, prior to Portia hand it over to you, right? The FSC under the People's National Party been flagging SSL from 2012. People, Google it. Google it, people, and see the truth. So SSL was flagged from 2012, right? SSL got converted, right, from Paul Cheng Young and Associates into SSL. Was flagged from 2012. What they were flagged for? What they were flagged for, Andrew Holness? You know, Andrew Holness, that they were flagged for misappropriating clients' money. Right? They were flagged for it because they were audited. And the money that they were showing on books, they did not have it in their physical accounts. Right? They could not give an account for it because by then, you, SSL, were stealing the money. And I want to show people that, you know, that's why Andrew Holness in a whole heap of pasta, you know. Because Andrew Holness claims that, you understand, he made money on his investment. SSL wasn't investing. SSL was stealing people money. So then, in 2016 again, prior to Portia Simpson got voted out, they were flagged again. So look now, people. They were flagged in 2012 and they were flagged again in 2016 for their behavior to be corrected. But guess what now? By 2016, what happened? Prime Minister Andrew Holness, right, take over the reins of power. So people, I want to remind you of something. Prior to Andrew Holness take over the reins of power, Andrew Holness was in SSL. Andrew Holness joined SSL in 2008. Nigel Clark, before Nigel Clark, I'm not talking about the whole secret tonight. Because you're out of order when you come back with the FinSac argument. You're bright. Nah, man, you've gone too far now, Andrew, man. You've gone too far, man. So now, let me tell the people them. Let me talk about things them now. Let the people them understand fully what happened. In 2008, you joined SSL. Right? Dying for hold on onto power. Dying for hold on onto power. That's why we can't rate Bruce Golding now. Can never rate Bruce Golding. It's Bruce Golding tutor you to become Prime Minister. You know? Bruce Golding unpick you to become Prime Minister. We can't rate him. Because you were only waiting to grab onto power to show your true colors. So you set up a little derricks from 2018. And so then in 2016, right? Nigel Clark, what you need to tell the people of Andrew Holness, remember, bust the secret. Before 2016, Nigel Clark was in one of the company, right, that Patrick Bailey drafted for you, you know. Jamaica Positive Foundation, you know. Nigel Clark. You understand, was one of the chairperson for positive Jamaica Foundation. Yeah, Andrew, may I talk about the thing then? May I talk about the thing them tonight? Can you get me grave? You understand? I'm not touching DPP yet. I mean, I get so hot. No. So what you have done is make sure that Positive Foundation where Nigel Clark, you understand, in your company, Andrew Holness, you make sure that Nigel Clark elevated, right, to the political realm. So people from out of your company right now venture into the politics. And what you do now? Give Nigel Clark Minister of Finance. Talk about them tonight, you know. Yeah, man, we investigate you and find out, man. We find out everything. So you now put Nigel Clark as Minister of Finance so that Nigel Clark now can do your derricks because SSL now becomes JLP cash cow. Because now you plan, you understand, as an entity now, where people are going to invest into SSL and you cross carry is going to convert the people their money to on personal use. You have admitted as it relates to Patrick Bailey stating that in 2011 you got money out of SSL and the major part of that helped to pay for the land. That you use 4 payments to pay for the land. So this is what you were using SSL for. So you don't have, if you want to fool people and talk about, you understand your profile account, me tell you say Andrew Holness, you don't have an ordinary profile account in a SSL. You are a shareholder of SSL. You, Nigel, you. And I'm asking if Nigel Clark is a shareholder of SSL. Right? And so then, SSL now becomes the medium of looting investors' money. Finac 2.0. Dan Crawford, Thiaga, Panton Young created Finac 2.0. Who were they affiliated with? Were they affiliated with the People's National Party? Were they a part of the People's National Party? Were they ever supported the People's National Party? Dan Crawford, everyone knows that Dan Crawford is our labor right. Everyone knows that Edward Philip George Thiaga, you understand, is a labor right. Everyone knows that Paul Cheng Young is a labor right. Right? So when you are trying to come give PNP Finac, right? You need to speak the truth. You need to speak the truth and stop from lying to the Jamaican people. Then, okay, you have PNP, got your moment. Right? You pay for the Finac report, the report completed, and yet you can't declare it. You can't declare it. So why are we trying to declare it? Why not declare it? Mystic Sensation I asked you to declare it. Declare it. Declare it as PNP. Declare it as PNP. Because we know that Thiaga was the president for People's National Party. Thiaga is not the president of the People's National Party. Right? Thiaga has never run on the PNP ticket. Which the entire world know. So who are you going to see in the Finac report? Eh? Are you going to see PJ Patterson in the Finac report? Eh? PJ Patterson in the Finac report. Is Philip George Thiaga in the Finac report? And Dan Crawford and Paul Cheng Young. In extension, you cross carry. You understand? Who you cross carry affiliated with right now? Does you cross carry affiliated with People's National Party? Look at the thing about Andrew Holness. Does you cross carry affiliated with the People's National Party? Who you cross carry affiliated with? The entire you cross carry family affiliated with the Jamaica Labour Party. Right? Now, DPP, you Paula Llewellyn, that's why you get kicked. That's why you get kicked. These are the things that you cover up. But tonight, I am going to deal with you, Paula Llewellyn, because I am going to expose the people to you, Paula Llewellyn. In 2008, you were installed by the Jamaica Labour Party government. Yeah, we have the evidence tonight, you know. And we are run out pound. 2008, Paula Llewellyn, you were installed by the Jamaica Labour Party. And so then, you believe that, okay, you're a part of the status quo. You are going to protect and preserve the status quo. And so then all of your works from 2008, right, Mystic Sensation track you and found out that your judgment totally biased against the People's National Party. And when it comes to the Jamaica Labour Party, right, you refrain from charging them. I am going to show the people the evidence tonight. I am going to show the people the evidence. Now, let us get down into the DPP and the DPP case we are dealing with tonight. Senior prosecutor urge. Okay. See why they're fighting to keep her office? Yes. Yes. To cover all of this. Now, let me show you Jamaican people. Let me start to calm down. How are you ready? Oh, you ready? Not calm me down yet, man. You ready? Senior prosecutor urges PNP to. Now, let me tell you something now. People, before I play the next clip. Hold on, honey.
It's an article.
Yeah. People, Paula Llewellyn has a lot of mess in her closet. A lot of mess to reveal. So for people who want to speak highly of Paula Llewellyn, I cannot speak highly of Paula Llewellyn. No way, no shape, no form. She's a disgrace to the Jamaican people. Right? She's a disgrace to the Jamaican people. She had taken an oath to serve the Jamaican people. But what she had done? Serve her political affiliates. Yes, Paula Llewellyn, that's what you have done. We're going to show the sequence tonight. That's exactly what you have done. Now, let me show you that it is not only outside persons, right, looking in from the outside, but Paula Llewellyn have internal problems because other DPP had seen it and realized that she's bringing her office into disrepute. Paula Llewellyn political affiliation caused the DPP office, the People's Office, into disrepute by her one-sidedness, her biasness, and her political affiliation. And so then Paula Llewellyn, right, want to protect and preserve the Jamaica Labour Party status quo. I am going to show the Jamaican people this. Let us get into this document to show the people that Paula Llewellyn herself, hold on, absolutely true oath. The DPP has always been prejudiced against the People's National Party. She is the epitome of evil. Look at Nzinga situation. Yes, Big Flex, big up yourself. And we are going to prove it tonight. We have fire tonight, you know. See how we are sweat tonight? Right? Fire. Now, let us show, right, the world that not only outside lookers, right, being curious of Paula Llewellyn decision, but Paula Llewellyn have internal problem. Without any further delay, let us show the people that Paula Llewellyn has internal problem. Yeah. Okay. I want to carry in the video account here. Okay. All right, let me show you people. Senior prosecutor urges Prime Minister to halt debate on retirement age for the DPP. And here in a letter, I wonder if we can bring up this letter. Okay. Here is the letter that the DPP wrote, published Friday, July 28, 2023. The Most Honorable Andrew Holness, ONPC MP, Prime Minister, Office of the Prime Minister, 1 Devon Road, Kingston 10. The Honorable Delroy Chuck KC, Minister of Justice, 61 Constant Spring Road, Kingston 10. Delivered by email and by hand. Dear Prime Minister and Minister, regarding proposed amendment to Section 96 of the Constitution of Jamaica 1962, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions and by extension the Crown Counsel within the department are duty-bound to prosecute crimes on behalf of the state, to advise the government bodies on matters of law and generally serve in the public interest. This function is of such vital importance that I am moved to respectfully present to you certain critical considerations that affect the amendment of Section 96 of the Constitution in respect of the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution at this time. On the 25th day of July 23, the Minister of Justice, the Honorable Delroy Chuck KC, tabled a motion in Parliament to amend the aforementioned section of the Constitution. Senior Deputy Director of Public Prosecution, Captain Pike, has written to the Prime Minister Andrew Holness urging him to halt voting an amendment to the Jamaican Constitution that would move the retirement age of the Director of Public Prosecution, DPP, and Auditor General from 60 to 65. Andrew Holness wants to stay long to protect him. Further, Pike has asked the Prime Minister Commission an investigation into the viability of the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. The bill is being debated in the Senate today. The government tabled, debated, and passed the Constitution Amendment of Section 96, subsection 1, and 121, subsection 1, Act 2023 in the House of Representatives on Tuesday. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck, who piloted the bill, said the constitutional establishing ceiling for the age of retirement for the DPP and AUG was 5 years earlier than the upper limit set in the Pension Public Service Act for a public officer in the civil service. But in a letter to Holness and Chuck on Thursday, Pike said that rationale given to move the retirement age for DPP Paula Llewellyn, KC and AG Pamela Monroe Ellis is flawed. Tell them, Pike, it is flawed, and we're now proving that it is flawed. Pike said, among other things, that the Jamaican Constitution is a supreme law and that any amendment to it must be treated with utmost care and due consideration. Take it away. So, Jamaican people, Delroy Chuck and the Prime Minister, prior to make the amendment, was won by Ketty and Pike. Was won by Ketty and Pike. But guess what? No. Mr. Brain was too smart. He knew otherwise. Right? So he pushed it along, used their 48 members, right, to amend. Right? And so this is the way how Andrew Holness want to know, push down him foot. You understand, in the people's neck. You understand? Because if it is not his way, right, then it can be no other way. Andrew Holness want to have it his way. Now, now we are going to get in the groove of the matter. The DPP was Andrew's firewall. Megawatt. Me tell them, you know, Megawatt, remember, you know. We before last Megawatt, what did I say to them, Megawatt? I said that the day that the DPP, right, being taken away, being separated, Andrew Holness shitbong is going to pull. I'm not say it any better than that. Because we know that the shit is going to touch the fan. It started to touch the fan already. Kojo Mystic, Cathy Pike, we need them to give a chance. She sounds serious. No, people, let me tell you something, Kojo Mystic. They will never put up Pike there. You crazy? They will never put Pike there because they know that the amount of corruption is there. But, you know, we are juggled down. Because we want to go down on the new DPP that has been installed. So let us play this clip video.
What did I put beside it? Number
6.
Okay. I'm in the-
All right.
Justice Minister Delroy Chuck says come next week, the government will be filing documents to appeal the ruling handed down by the Constitutional Court.
We do not agree with that part of the ruling. Position is that we intend to appeal early next week, so the matter will remain until the Court of Appeal rules.
The ruling means that Director of Public Prosecution Paula Llewellyn's appointment is null and void. When our news team visited the minister, the 58-page ruling was spread across his desk. He admitted to not fully reading the document as yet, but believed the government has a solid case. Minister Chuck rubbished the argument that the DPP received a second extension in her tenure. The DPP should have demitted office when she turned 60. However, she was granted an extension in 2020. That ended last year. The minister explained that when the government passed the amendment, it gave her the opportunity to work up to age 65.
This is a new act to replace the existing provisions in the Constitution. It stands on its own. And in those circumstances, the DPP applied to continue to age 65 under this amended Constitution and has nothing to do with any additional extension.
Justice Minister Delroy Chuck says despite the ruling this morning, the amendment to the legislation was not rushed. The government would have passed the legislation last year using its majority in both the lower and upper house. The opposition, on the other hand, said it was not consulted.
There's no doubt that we try to consult the opposition as much as possible, but there comes a point after you consult, you must make a decision. I think the opposition tries to milk as much political capital out of it, which I think is totally unnecessary.
So you don't think this amendment was rushed in any way?
It's a simple amendment.
It's critical, though.
It's a simple amendment raising the age from 60 to 65, which should have been done 10 years ago. And I don't think that was rushed.
As it relates to what happens now, well, the minister says it will be business as usual. But there are concerns about the impact the ruling could have on several high-profile cases currently before the court. We asked the minister, should the public be worried?
No, not at all. As I say, the status quo remains. And until the Court of Appeal rules, I don't think we have to act differently.
Jamila Maitland, TVJ News.
Allow Mystic Sensation to talk now. Because Pinky cannot get back into the office and Brain cannot save her. Now, people, let us reason. Right? Because Delroy Chuck knows very well. No, I'm going to talk about the level of wickedness with these people. Delroy Chuck no better. Delroy Chuck no set. When the case go to Privy Council, the Privy Council is going to kick it out. Yes. What people need to understand, that what the Privy Council look on, the Privy Council look on procedural breakdown, right? Which there is none. So it begged me, right, as it relates to the prudence of this government in terms of how they are spending taxpayers' money. They right should know that he can't win because a constitutional court, follow the Constitution, obey the Constitution. The Privy Council is not going to undo that. Del Right should know that. Then my question to Del Right and my question to the government of Jamaica. Why waste taxpayers' money? This is the question that people need to ask, you know. Jamaican, Chuck is looking for an excuse to abandon the sinking ship because losing this case and appeal will give him no option but to resign. Now, Jamaica, let me say this. We know that when a case, right, is brought to the Privy Council, the Privy Council not necessarily try a case. They don't do that. What they look for procedural breakdown, right? They want to know that, okay, all right, was the procedures followed in terms of certain things? Like, for example, right, in Vibes Cartel case where you have the tainted jury. What should have happened in terms of the procedure if you discover that one of your jurors, right, is tainted? Then you're supposed to dismiss the entire juror panel. As a matter of fact, there was an established case, right, as it relates to Michael Manley, right, that a president already said. So it goes to show you how Father Llewellyn, right, has not been cognizant of these things and fully aware, right, of certain precedents that already set. Remember that their court, as it relates to the technocrats of law, said ignorancy to the law is no excuse. So when Paul Llewellyn now is coming and saying that, okay, all right, she never aware of the precedents that was set. The fact of the matter as it relates to technocrats of the laws, ignorancy to the law is no excuse, Paul Llewellyn. It's no excuse. But what I'm going to show the people tonight is not that you're ignorant. I am going to show the people that you are deliberate in your actions, right? And you are just evil and protecting the GLP corruption status quo. That is what you're doing. The cases that I'm going to deliver tonight is going to show people clearly. Now, let us go to the next clip where it begs the question. Big Flex, Privy Council looks for the flaws and discrepancies. Yes, Big Flex. Yes, right? Procedural errors, procedural breakdowns. That's what Privy Council is going to look for. Is there any procedural breakdown in this in terms of the Constitution Court, right? Making sure that they follow the laws of the Constitution? No, there was none. So how then Del Right, right, is going to be successful in that case that he's bringing to the Privy Council? Well, let me speak from now that Del Right, that you're going to lose it. That means when the future comes and people say lose it, people don't know say, all right, Mystic Sensation when tell him. You're going to lose it, Del Right. Mark Golden running circles around these GLP liars. Exactly. You understand? Have it like Mark Golden. You see them go on, then them have it like Mark Golden. You understand me? I say, no. This leaves people ponder to why on God earth. Let me talk now, Jamaican people. Let us talk. What is it? What is it with Father Llewellyn that the Jamaican Labour Party hell-bent that Father Llewellyn has to be there? And so then, when Father Llewellyn reached the age It is a fight to give her extension. Did Paula Llewellyn remember when she was taking over from Pantry? Pantry reached age 60, and what Pantry did? Pantry handed it over to you, Paula Llewellyn. Pantry handed it over to you because Pantry respect the constitutional laws and norms. Paula Llewellyn, go back in 2008. When you were appointed, what happened? Pantry reached the age 60 years of age and has to go. And Pantry humbled himself gracefully, admitting that yes, time come. I am 60 years of age, and so I am going to leave the office gracefully. Let me ask you a question now, Paula. Why is it that after Pantry gracefully, right? Be your dictator. Gracefully be your dictator. You can't gracefully leave the office. What is it you are protecting? Who are you protecting? But tonight, I am going to show the people. Yes, Paula Llewellyn. Tonight, Mystic Sensation is going to show the people who you are protecting and why you are protecting them. Right? Now we know that 2008 you were installed by the Jamaica Labour Party government, and as such you have to protect the status quo. As such, you have to protect the status quo, Paul. So then, let us ask. You understand? Because this is mind-boggling to some of the greatest liars in Jamaica, because they can't understand why the government is hell-bent on keeping Paula. And so then, as a result of the government behavior, right, it is now causing persons to insinuate, persons to perceive, persons to believe that he has something to be protected. And so then, Paula is that person who needs to protect it. Well, guess what? Yes, it is true. They have something to be protected. SSL needs to be protected. Holness needs to be protected. The statutory declaration can never ever be certified. And so then, it needs those walls of protection. Patrick Bailey needs to be protected. And so then, they need the walls of protection. How Paula Llewellyn is benefiting from that is yet to be discovered. And then you know it's going to be a bangarang in terms of the quid pro quo. What Paula Llewellyn is doing for you, and what is it you are giving Paula Llewellyn? What is it? So then, people, we are going to show something that it ponder some mind. Without any delay, look at these people.
You know what bothers me? What bothers me is, why is it that there is such an insistence, such a desire, such a thirst, which can only be quenched if Paula remains DPP. Why? Why are they going out on this limb for her? Why? There must be an underlying reason. And there's no sparsity of persons who can fill the post. None. It is an odd situation. And quite frankly, I will tell you, it is so odd that it bothers me. And, you know, I don't want to speculate and won't speculate because that would bother me more as to why the extra effort. I am troubled in mind. And Paula should just be graceful. Be graceful, Paula. You had your turn. Remember how hard you fought to get pantry out? Remember? And now how hard you're fighting to stay in. Not right. Have a sense of justice. There are persons in the department who expect to become DPP. But the way you are going, they will find themselves on the retirement list before they can get there. Something is not right in the state of Denmark.
All right, take that away, people. As you see what John Fitardo up there, right? Because I made an error, and I like to admit that in terms of when I made an error in saying the Privy Council. So John is correct. You understand? Because I want to make sure that my listeners, right, properly informed. Yes, the appeal is not the Privy Council. It has to go to the appeal court in Jamaica before it can go to the Privy Council in London. Yes, John, you are absolutely right. It is my error, right? I should have said the appeal court in Jamaica. So I do agree with you, and I am fix that, correcting that. And this is it. You understand? We are to take corrections when we have, and that's why we have our people, right? Very intelligent. And so then when I see the correction and I observe the correction, I'm going to make it known, right? I am one of those bloggers who, if I make an error, right, please don't hesitate to correct me. At the end of the day, I want the people to get the right and appropriate information. So I want to say big thanks to you, John, for that correction. Corruption, and corruption is the reason behind their action. Exactly. Now, people, let us do this. Now, let us do a reasoning here, because we have seen a new DPP as selected. Well, maybe someone can ask me, Mystic Sensation, how do you feel about it as it relates to the new DPP that was selected? All right. I like to deal with these rhetorical questions. I ask them and answer them. Number one, people. As it relates to the information regarding the appointment to Ms. Thompson for 6 months, We have seen where lawyers applauded her. And I'm going to show it. Other senior lawyers applauded her. But for mystic sensation, I honestly have a problem. I am going to show you, right, as it relates to her associates applauding her. And then, after we establish that, I am going to show you why I am a little bit worried. And as a matter of fact, let me say this. Any person that Andrew Holness-led government appointed, Jamaican people, you need to worry. We know that, okay, yes, the Public Service Commission, right, had utilized that. We know that. Don't think we don't know. So let me say. However, Andrew Holness has what you call extended tentacles. Yes, you hear me right. Andrew Holness has extended tentacles. One of those tentacles that have Paula Llewellyn working for Andrew Holness, had Fitz Bailey working for Andrew Holness. And so then, it is no surprise that its tentacles extend to the Service Commission. You get it, people? And I'm going to tell you why I am worried. Let me just bring up this document. And show you the level of endorsement that she's getting. Yeah. Okay, thank you. What going on, sir?
Finger too nimble. Hold on.
Yeah, get your back. Okay. All right. Let us bring it up and show you what it shared.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just this faster.
All right, people. It's coming up. It's coming up. Coming up. Document is coming up. Yes, I am a bit worried as it relates to, you know, this DPP. And I'm not just, you know, casting any judgment to the fact that, you understand, she has not given the time to prove herself, right? So I'm going to be a little bit reserved where, you know, certain strong criticism is concerned. However, I am still a little bit worried. And there's a reason why I'm worried, people, and I'm going to point it out why I am worried. All right. Fellow counsel applaud Thompson appointment, but question linger. It lingered for me as well. Several senior lawyers have endorsed the selection of Prosecutor Claudette Thompson as acting director of public prosecutions, DPP, even as some are calling for clarity on her appointment and on the status of the incumbent Paula Llewellyn. The appointment, which took effect on Monday and will run for 6 months, comes following Llewellyn's decision to vacate the post in the wake of ambiguity over a constitutional court ruling on Friday. But the Constitutional Court had ruled that an amendment to the Constitution giving Llewellyn the power to elect to remain on the job was null and void and of no legal effect. Last July, the Constitution was amended to move the retirement ages of the DPP and the Auditor General from 60 to 65. However, a provision that allowed Llewellyn to choose to continue in the post beyond her 63rd birthday last September was declared unconstitutional, null and void, and no longer legally effective. The government, however, has indicated that its intent to appeal the ruling while insisting that no extension was granted to Llewellyn and that she could have remained in her office until she reached 65 by virtue of the amendment. But in the meantime, Thompson, who was the Senior Deputy Director of Public Prosecution, has been handed the baton to act in the post for a second time. She previously did so between August 2 and September 6, 2019. People, right here is where bother me. Let me read it over. But in the meantime, Thompson, people, and I want you to hear this paragraph. This is where bothers me. But in the meantime, Thompson, who was the Senior Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, has been handed the baton to act in the post for a second time. This is where bother me. She previously did so between August 2 and September 6 in 2019. Take it away. Let's talk about August 2, September 6, 2019. Let us talk about that. That's where bother me, and I'm going to open people's eyes. August 2 to September 6, 2019. Let us talk about that. This is the reason why I am very much perturbed. Because the association that this current DPP had with Paula Llewellyn, for whatever reason that Paula Llewellyn was going to temporarily vacate the office between August 2, September 6, 2019, Paula Llewellyn trusted her that much, trusted her that much to be in that post until she returned. People, this bothers me that Andrew Holness extended tentacles to Paula Llewellyn. Paula Llewellyn could be the one made the recommendation for the Service Commission to appoint her. See where I'm going, people, and it is bothering me. Margolin, I wanted to see this. When Paula Llewellyn has been the Director of Public Prosecution from 2008 until now. However, whatever incident that occurred in August 2, between the period August 2 to September 6, 2019, where Ms. Thompson, right, had temporarily held the post for the DPP until Paula Llewellyn returned, is to show you the level of trust Paula Llewellyn, people, the level of trust Paula Llewellyn has with, right? Has with the Miss Thompson. The level of trust Paula Llewellyn has with Miss Thompson. As wellness warrior Sophia said, too close for comfort. So then, is she there under the influence of Paula Llewellyn, knowing what is happening to Paula Llewellyn? And we know that Paula Llewellyn can't put back her foot in the office. We know that. So all the kick up, all Chuck go on with mystic sensation knows that Paula Llewellyn, me they tell you that Chuck can never and will never put back our foot into the office. But what I want to know is Andrew Holness extended tentacles may have worked through the Service Commission and where Paula Llewellyn influence to protect the status quo to select someone who Paula Llewellyn trusts. And so the 6 months that she has been given is a test of time to see if she is going to indeed protect the corruption status quo. Well, my question, Integrity Commission, Wellsware, Sophia, clear continuation of more the same. Disappointment is unacceptable. Paula out and her minions shouldn't hold any office. Well, people, that's why I read it to you people. They are the one who spoke about it because we never know enough. We didn't. We were not aware that she had temporarily replaced Paula Llewellyn, right? In 2019, Paula Llewellyn would have personally selected her for that. So it shows you the level of confidence that Paula Llewellyn has with her, which now in extension is going to speak about their association. And which in extension is she going to protect the status quo, because at the get-go, she started to speak in goodwill of Paula Llewellyn. We heard it, you know. We heard it, you know. The goodwill that she spoke of Paula Llewellyn. And here why I am worried. Because all the goodwill that she spoke of Paula Llewellyn, I am going to prove tonight to the contrary of what she's saying. And this is why I'm worried, because Paula Llewellyn is highly political. The next following clips that I'm going to show to Jamaican people is going to show the evidence that Paula Llewellyn is politically biased. And I'm going to bring clear cases. And these cases that I'm going to show are professional investigators like Assistant Commissioner of Police. Where do Mystic Sensation taking it from? Out of the mouth of Assistant Commissioner of Police, saying to us that Paula Llewellyn is biased. Now, let us get into the meat of the matter. The truth. Why are they not bringing Darren before the court? Not only that, the truth. Not only that, the truth. Rural Reid was supposed to go back to court on January 12, 2024. This January that gone. And Jamaican people don't know nothing, don't hear anything. Andrew Holness, let me tell you something, you know. Andrew Holness, you know, come out and ask people to vote for you, you know. You just take for yourself, you know, Andrew Holness. And nobody believes, say, whatever cabinet you want, shift round or whatever changes you want to be done, Andrew Holness, let me tell you, plain and simple. It is you, it's the corruption. Andrew Holness, get it? It is you and Juliet Holness are the corruption. So then, no matter how you fimble around, change round, fire this, change up this, move that, if you not take for yourself, if you and your wife not take for yourself, you and your wife are the virus. So there is nothing that you can fix in the Jamaica Labour Party. You, Andrew Holness, is the virus. Now, let me. All right.
Oh my goodness.
Now, let me show you now, people. We are going to expose some things here tonight. And we are going to put DPP Paula Llewellyn now under the microscope to show the entire world. This is not Mystic Sensation, right? Who has any personal vendetta against Paula Llewellyn. Right? I have no personal vendetta. It is the evidence, it is the research that I have done and the evidence that I'm going to bring forward. Right, Candy Max, boy, what is the whole and the rest of the JLP party that they are all so quiet and stay in line? All right, Candy Max, I tell you something, Candy Max. The liquid excretion is touching the pond. Now, okay, so we have that. Okay, look us find this. Now we are going to touch Jamaica. Let me warn Jamaica. Right? Let me warn Jamaica. We are going to touch a popular politician who is currently a member of parliament. I am not the one who accusing that member of parliament. I am not the one who accusing him. He was accused by a commissioner of police who had solid evidence. And so then I'm going to make sure I prep my listeners before we show it. Right? Prospective, prominent Jamaican politician implicated in murder. Listen what it says. Prospective, prominent Jamaican politician implicated in number 3. So then we are going to now reveal the document. Put it up, honey.
Here. Let me just make sure it is
No, you don't appear this.
no.
Okay, all right. Pull on that document. Because we are jumping the gun a bit. I'm sorry, I apologize. That. Let me just go on script here, right, before I get into that. Now, let us play this clip, right? My apology for that.
Okay.
Yes.
The opposition People's National Party is issuing this urgent statement to the nation in light of the government's confused response to last Friday's Constitutional Court ruling, which declared that the legislation to extend the tenure of the former DPP beyond September 23 last year is unconstitutional and void. Our objective is to ensure that the nation avoids the impending constitutional crisis that could arise should there be no acting DPP in place by tomorrow morning. As our eminent legal representatives have pointed out with clarity in their urgent correspondence to the government's legal team yesterday, the continuation of Ms. Llewellyn in her post beyond her lawful term is not only unconstitutional, but is also a grave misstep in governance. A copy of their letter has been published with our release to the media this afternoon to underscore the severe implications of ignoring the court's ruling. If the government adamantly insists on the former DPP continuing to purport to hold that office, her actions would no longer be validated by law, and it could plunge the country into an even deeper crisis. Furthermore, the current absence of a public service commission, whose term was negligently allowed to expire on the 31st of March this year, without a new commission being put in place to ensure seamless public administration, is a significant oversight by the government that could hinder ongoing public services, including the critical appointment of an acting DPP. Finally, it is clear that the public statements of the Attorney General, Dr. Derek McCoy, and the Minister of Justice, the Honorable Delroy Chuck, in the wake of the Constitutional Court's decision, represent either a profound misunderstanding or a deliberate obfuscation of the law as expressed in the judgment of the Constitutional Court. Their actions have fatally undermined their credibility as holders of those important offices. Accordingly, the People's National Party is calling for their immediate resignations as Attorney General and Minister of Justice, respectively. We urge this administration to consider the gravity of this situation and to act in the best interests of Jamaica's democratic principles and good governance.
Okay. All right. So what we are going to get into, my people, is to show you, right, the level of biasness into this investigation and research that will show you as it relates to the political biasness of Paula Llewellyn, right, preserving the Jamaica Labour Party corruption status quo, right, that cases that involve the People's National Party, Paula Llewellyn have a zeal to deal with it. And cases that involve the Jamaica Labour Party, Paula Llewellyn have no zeal to deal with it. I am not making up these things, right? I have nothing personal against Paula. But I'm going to play the evidence for people to see that, right? The evidence that has been recorded, tabulated, that is there on Google for everyone to see it. And so then now we understand why this government wanted Paula Llewellyn to be there. Let us put up the first information of the research that I have done as it relates to Paula Llewellyn execute herself without no hesitation when it comes to the People's National Party. Let us look. The one that you just put up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Here you go.
Yeah. Share.
Mhm.
Okay. 200.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There we go.
All right. So let us look. My Jamaican people, right? I'm going to play it where you can listen, right?
Some big cases, Paula Llewellyn's prosecuted as DPP.
Paula Vanessa Llewellyn was first appointed Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, in March 2008, replacing Kent Pantry, who had served for 10 years from 1998 to 2008. She was the first woman to hold the post. 6 men served before her from 1962, when Jamaica gained its independence from Britain, until her appointment in 2008. After 16 years in the position, having benefited from an extension of her tenure when she turned 60, the now 63-year-old Llewellyn has the distinction of being Jamaica's longest-serving DPP. This St. Hugh's High School and Norman Manley Law School graduate grew up in Pembroke Hall, St. Andrew. She did her internship in Antigua, before returning to Jamaica to take up a position as clerk of the court at the St. James Magistrates Court. In 1986, Llewellyn was appointed a Crown Counsel in the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, ODPP. She was made a Deputy Director in 1993 and Senior Deputy Director in 1999. Llewellyn stepped aside after a ruling by the Constitutional Court on April 19, 2024, that upheld a submission from the opposition People's National Party that an amendment to the Constitution to facilitate a second extension of her tenure as DPP was unconstitutional, null and void. The government plans to appeal the decision. In the meantime, Claudette Thompson, senior deputy DPP has been appointed acting DPP, effective April 22, 2024. As DPP, Llewellyn has won and lost some of Jamaica's most high-profile court cases over the past 15 years. Here's 5 of them. Cuban light bulb case. She lost the highly contentious Cuban light bulb case involving then junior minister in the People's National Party administration, Kern Spencer, in which she often clashed with the presiding judge, senior resident magistrate Judith Pusey, and Spencer's lead attorney, King's Counsel K.D. Knight. In March 2014, Pusey dismissed all charges against Spencer and his former personal assistant, Colleen Wright. Pusey stated that, having examined the evidence in this matter and how the matter was handled, it is my considered opinion that these accused should not be called upon to state their defense. Spencer and Wright had been on trial since 2009, accused of money laundering and illicit enrichment arising from the implementation of the Cuban light bulb program. The bulbs, which should have been distributed free of charge, were a gift from the Cuban government. Stone Crusher gangsters walked free. In February 2012, the DPP's case against Eldon Calvert, the alleged leader of the notorious Stone Crusher gang that was based in Montego Bay, St. James, collapsed. The murder case, which included 2 other men, was thrown out after it was revealed that the investigating officer, Detective Sergeant Michael Sergiu, fabricated the evidence. After it was thrown out, Senior Pune Judge Gloria Smith remarked that it was a very sad day in the history of justice. Llewellyn later said she could not proceed with the case, because handwriting experts for the defense and the Crown confirmed the witness statement was written and signed by Sergiu. Llewellyn said she was told that Sergiu had fled the island. Calvert was shot and killed by gunmen in Salt Spring, St. James, in 2014. The Vibes Cartel verdict. Llewellyn's office famously won the Vibes Cartel murder case, which, at the time, featured the longest-ever trial in Jamaica. The popular entertainer, real name Adidja Palmer, and 3 co-accused were sentenced to life behind bars for the killing of their friend, Clive Lizard Williams. This case is once more in the news and its final outcome is yet to be determined. The Court of Appeal has set June 10, 2024 as the date it will begin hearing submissions on whether to order a retrial for Cartel and his co-accused. The order from the court comes weeks after the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council in the UK overturned the murder convictions and sentences of Cartel, Sean Campbell, Kahira Jones, and Andre St. John, due to jury misconduct. The matter was subsequently remitted to the local appeal court to decide on the matter of a retrial. The Trafigura Bahir scandal involving the PNP. By March 2022, when senior officers of the People's National Party, PNP, were forced to testify in open court in the Trafigura Bahir matter, the scandal that rocked the Portia Simpson Miller-led PNP in 2006 had been around for 18 years. Despite pressure for her office to drop the matter, since no charges were brought in Jamaica, Llewellyn's office fully cooperated with the authorities in the Netherlands who were probing whether $31 million given to the PNP in 2006 by the Dutch company was a bribe. Dutch companies are not allowed to make political donations. The cooperation between the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions and the Dutch authorities was based on provisions under the Mutual Assistance in Criminal Matters Treaty, which allows signatory countries to ask for help in producing documents and questioning witnesses. The PNP bigwigs who had to testify after initially refusing to do so in private before losing an appeal at the Privy Council were Colin Campbell, who was PNP General Secretary in 2006, Robert Pickersgill, who was PNP Chairman, businessman Norton Hines, and Member of Parliament Philip Palwell. Former Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller, who was PNP President, was excused from testifying on medical grounds. Llewellyn helped secure right of appeal for prosecutors. Appealing a sentence. In October 2022, Llewellyn would hail a historic verdict in her office's first sentencing appeal as a victory for victims of crime. This was after the Court of Appeal overturned a 12-year sentence that was imposed on Westmoreland gangster Lindell Powell for 2 murders. The court instead imposed life sentences for each of the 2 counts, with a stipulation that he serves 24 years and 7 months before being eligible for parole. Llewellyn had pushed for her office to be given the right to appeal some sentences it considered too lenient. Justice Bertram Morrison had sentenced Powell to 12 years on the 2 counts and ordered that he serves 10 years before becoming eligible for parole consideration. In its first use of the law that was passed in 2021, the state prosecutor successfully appealed the sentence.
All right. So, people, what I want you to extract from that is the zeal that Paula Llewellyn take to deal with the Cuban light bulb case, which she had lost, right? Now, the Trafigura case, again, where she had lost. Now, let me set the record straight. There's nothing wrong with Paula Llewellyn as the DPP wanted to investigate those cases and deal with it expeditiously. Nothing wrong with that. However, what we are looking for as it relates to the DPP is to balance justice. To say that the same expeditiousness that you use in dealing with the People's National Party, you have to utilize it when it comes to the Jamaica Labour Party to create checks and balance, because you are not the DPP for GLP. And certainly, you are not the DPP for the PNP. What you are, Ms. Paula Llewellyn, is the People's Jamaican DPP. You are representing justice for all Jamaicans, whether they're poor, rich, or whatever. Every single Jamaican must be treated fairly where justice is concerned. So we showed that. Now, what we are going to do now is present cases that you either utilize delay tactics not to deal with it, or you keep total silence, or you don't insert yourself any at all. We are going to show you those cases. It clearly shows Paula is there to cover for GLP and exactly pretending. And so then that's why we are worried about this CPP who has that level of association with Paula Llewellyn. It is like, I'm not saying that anything wrong, with Paula Llewellyn and senior DPP having an association. They are lawyers. They are prosecutors. But I am saying, as it relates to when you have a system where the DPP is corrupted, right? And in extension, extend that corruption to one of her associates to carry on the status quo of the corruption. I and the entire citizen of Jamaica have a problem with that. So then, let us go now to the first clip and read something as it relates to Assistant Commissioner of Police speaking as it relates to Paula Llewellyn behavior because a Jamaica Labour Party member of Parliament involved in this case. Look at this. Remember, she's inserted herself in the Trafigura case. She inserted herself in the light bulb case. So we are saying, then okay, all right, why you have not inserted yourself in this case? Look at this case. And it is not only this case, several cases that I'm going to point out tonight. Case number one, let us move to all this. Case number one, let us deal with case number one. I'll come up with change it, right? Okay, so people, let us look at this now. This is case number one that we are going to compare. Perspective, prominent Jamaican politician implicated in murder. Director of Public Prosecution, DPP, Paula Llewellyn, informant lacks credibility. When you hear that, people, the first thing out of Paula Llewellyn's mouth, informant lacks credibility. First thing out of our mouth. As a media, we are hard-pressed to expose alleged atrocities, corruption, and misconduct in whatever shape or form. This exposure is not without considerable risk, like legal action for defamation of character, liable by the prominent accused if a politician. In fact, legal action for defamation of character was initiated but discontinued. Prosecutorial misconduct. Come on, Paul. The DPP, Paula Llewellyn, responding to questions regarding her decision not to prosecute, stated to the effect that the evidence did not meet the threshold and alleged witnesses have credibility issues. She had no choice but not to proceed. Now, in the Trafigura case, the evidence was not meeting the threshold, and you still proceed with it. In the Trafigura case, Paula Llewellyn, you still proceed with it. Former Assistant Commissioner of Jamaican Constabulary Force, JCF Les Green, previously of the Scotland Yard, has been commenting on the case. In an interview published in a Miami newspaper, Green was critical of the DPP's handling of the case. Yes, because corruption. Do be reminded that this is an ongoing investigation. The DPP has stated above asserted inter alia that the evidence was shaky and possibly prosecution witnesses lack credibility. Put the case before the court, Paula. Make the case try. Make the judge determine that. Make jurors determine that. Not you. You did not give the PNP a chance with Trafigura. You decided that you want to take this case to court. Here now, to the fact that there's a JLP member of parliament involved. You crush it. This is the corruption with you, Paula. Right, let me read back that over. The DPP has stated above asserted inter alia that the evidence was shaky and possibly prosecution witness lack credibility. Possibly prosecution witness lack credibility. Paula, put the case through the judiciary. For the DPP to have conspired with the police to prefer criminal charges, knowing very well that the chances of conviction would be as successful as a peanut shell surviving in hell would have been shameful. You are not the one to decide that, Paula. Put the case through the judiciary. Put the damn case through the judiciary. You have put Trafigura through the judiciary, and you didn't have half of what you have here. In my perspective, it would be grossly irresponsible for this constitutional officer to have acted speculatively or in a reckless manner, having sworn to protect the human rights and freedoms of all, even the accused, and thereby upholding the Constitution. Did you consider that when you are dealing with the Trafigura case? To have done otherwise would be a dereliction of duty, if not also a betrayal of trust. We would have been very scathing if the DPP was deemed to be guilty of judicial misconduct. We all know brief. We all know brief for the DPP, Paula Llewellyn. In fact, we are on record of being critical of her handling of the case of ex-Mayor Sternett Arton of Lucy Hanover. You will recall that Derek Harrison, Contractor General of the Office of the Contractor General OCG disagreed with the DPP not to prosecute Harrison took the DPP to court before the court ruled the DPP office stopped the case and reversed their decision not to prosecute Harrison. We never failed to say the DPP Llewellyn had egg on her face. Now, today we say, congrats, Paula Llewellyn, for deciding not to prosecute that prominent politician. You cannot build a case on shaky evidence. It was not the DPP who failed to renew Les Green's employment contract. To former PNP Minister Noel Ascott, we say, do not comment in a manner that gives the impression that you are trying to politicize our judicial system. Justice is supposed to be colorblind. We salute the DPP for our integrity and professionalism. We are not about running careers on unreliable, speculative evidence or malice. We have no ulterior motive but the truth. But yet, you take up Trafigura and you put on this. As usual, the verdict is yours. Right? Okay. All right, take away that. Let us go into this. Rural read. It's been upset for January 12th. Now let us struggle. Let us struggle. And let me say this to the people. One of the reasons why I don't dig deeper to expose the minister name, I want to keep it at that. Right? I don't want to expose the minister name that involved in this matter. Right? So I just leave it as that. But that minister is currently a member of parliament in the Jamaica Labour Party. Right? And where Les Green have evidence of certain things that they were planning to do as it relates to number 3. Let me specify that. Right? Now, let us go to Rural Read. Rural Read, Fritz Pinnock set for January 12th, return to court. This is what I'm talking about, people. A January 12, 2024 mention date has been fixed in the multi-million-dollar fraud matter involving former Education Minister Rural Read, former Caribbean Maritime University, CMU President Fitz Pinnock, and their 3 co-accused in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court. The new date was scheduled last Friday when the accused appeared in court and had their bails extended. The 2 men, along with Reed, wife Sharon, their daughter Cheryl, and Jamaica Labour Party councillor for Brownstone Division Kim Brown Lawrence, have been charged with a range of offences, including breaches of the Corruption Prevention Act, conspiracy to defraud, misconduct in a public office at a common law, and breaches of the Proceed of Crime Act. The accused were charged by the Financial Investigation Division, following an investigation into nearly 50 million, which was alleged diverted from the CMU. On Friday, when the case was called up, Lawrence was assigned a legal aid attorney and disclosure was ordered. I mentioned it was subsequently set for January for the parties to determine the way forward. On the previous date, the parties were to agree on a date for a plea and case management hearing. Meanwhile, Reed and Pinnock lawyer, Hugh Wildman, told the Gleaner that he had filed the documents to appeal the recent full court ruling in which his client lost their battle to quash the chief parish court Judge Chester Crooks, ruling that they have a case to answer in the multi-million-dollar fraud. Reed and Pinnock had sought a judicial review of Crooks' February 2021 decision, claiming that the judge should not have ruled in the matter as he had admitted to a conflict of interest. The judge ruling was in response to a preliminary objection raised by Reed and Pinnock on the basis that the charges against them should be nullified, as the FID, which leveled the charges, had no authority in law to arrest or charge them. Are you serious? However, the men took issue with the decision after Crooks declared that he was recusing himself from the trial because of a perceived conflict of interest and sought of a judicial review. Take that away. The point I'm proving, people, let me say this. The point I'm driving at, here is Rural Reed, supposed to go back to court January 12, 2024. And no one hearing what is happening to the case. No one is hearing what is happening to the case. No one. No one has any understanding what been transpired. Did they go to court January 12, 2024? What happened? Paula Llewellyn has no right to speak, to even keep a press conference. No one saying nothing. Even all those social media bloggers are asking about this case. Mainstream media keeps silent on this case. Nothing, nothing at all. Come on, come on, come on, Paula. Come on. You did not behave like that as it relates to the Trafigura and the light bulb scandal. You never behave so. Paula is the first DPP that showed her political affiliation so openly and barefaced. The office of the DPP must be upheld to the high standard and integrity. Blessings, Valerie. Blessings, Valerie. Now, let us go into something that really mind-boggling and where it shocked the entire Jamaican people and will shock the world at large. When we look at the SSL case, I know Paula Llewellyn. People, I want to really speak. We look at the Trafigura case. You understand? As it relates to the accusation of donation. And Paula Llewellyn insert herself in that case. Insert herself in that case. Right? No. You have the SSL. You have the SSL case where Andrew Holness mixed up in the SSL. NHT money was put into SSL. People look at her. The pension money was put into SSL. Just imagine NHT contributors who find it difficult to get an NHT house. Been contributing for over 20 years, 30 years, and God, he knows it. Andrew Holness and Nigel Clark take out the NHT money, pension money, and all sort of money and put it into SSL. And Paula Llewellyn silent. People, I am showing you the viciousness. Paula Llewellyn silent. Then tell me something now. People look at that. If Trafigura never have anything to do with the treasury, Trafigura don't have nothing to do with the treasury. Look at that, people. It is not like the People's National Party government go into the treasury and take out some money. What happened, you understand, is Trafigura donate some money, right? And because Bruce Golan was up for the political rivalry, he wants to create mayhem because he believed that Trafigura was supporting the People's National Party mechanism, political campaign to go against him. This is why you have Trafigura existing of people. over nothing else. And Paula Llewellyn, as a DPP, find time to go in a Trafigura, to involve in a Trafigura and last the case. Now we could look on that. Now we could look on something now we're fundamentally serious, something will affect our treasury. Nigel Clark, Andrew Holness, taking HC money, put it into SSL. Take the pension money, put it into the SSL. Paula Llewellyn. Paula Llewellyn. You put yourself in Trafigura. You put yourself, right? Now, and look, you have a situation where taxpayers' money, the treasury, under attack from your JLP affiliates. What did you do, Paula Llewellyn? Take away yourself. You take away yourself, Paula. Yes, Paula. You take away yourself, Paula. I'm going to remind you, LTE with Carol. This is why they are fighting for her. And as long as a DPP is in the office who is affiliated with them, they will not be held accountable. You are so right, LTE with Carol. You're so right. So let Mr. Sensation expose them. Paula Llewellyn. Right? Now, when you look at that, just see what Paula Llewellyn insert herself in. Right? As it relates to the accusation of a company, you understand, who had given donation to the People's National Party. Any money didn't, let me ask you a question, Paula. Any money didn't come out of the treasury? Eh? Let me ask you a question, Paula. Did any money taken out of the treasury? Bruce Golding fear to have Portia Simpson political campaign. You understand, being sponsored and go up against him. Right? And so then Bruce Golding created mayhem. And then you, Paula Llewellyn, defend it because you get the post under Bruce Golding government. That's why you defend it, Paula. That's why you defend it. Because it becomes DPP, you understand, under Bruce Golding government. Say the different Bruce Golding. Yeah, you defend Bruce Golding. And you help to propagandize. You help to propagandize. Right? You help to propagandize Trafigura situation. That's what you have done, Paula Llewellyn. So when we talk, I make the people them understand. Trafigura was the crime. You know that Trafigura was the crime. But a situation that was the crime, you insert yourself in. No, SSL is a crime. SSL is a crime. Where are you, Paul? Andrew, let's take out NHT money and put it into SSL. Andrew, let's have done worse than that. Andrew, let's take out over 600 million and give to Dexim. Give to Dexim. Where the world know that Dexim, right, has done corruption before. Europe banned Dexim. You were warned in Parliament not to deal with Dexim. Did you take the warning? You didn't take the warning because you and Dexim are the same thing. You never want the warning. You know about Dexim, you know, before you give Dexim NHT, take up $600 million to give to Dexim. $600 billion you take and give to Dexim. Right? And I know NHT do make an interest on their money. They say return the money, not with 1% interest. Parliament, what did you do? What did you do? Let me give you another case that is clear and mind-boggling with the Jamaican people. Without any further ado, Gene and Panton, let me give you a next case. Let me give the public a next case about you.
More charges finally about to drop in the SSL fraud case. Gina and Panton just spilled some major tea that's got the whole situation heating up again. And Usain Bolt is stepping up his fight to get his money back. I'm Kalila Reynolds, financial journalist and educator based in Jamaica. So former Stocks and Securities Limited wealth advisor Gina and Panton says she only confessed to the $3 billion fraud that rocked the company because she was persuaded by the company's founder, Hugh Croskrey. In a court filing, Panton alleged that Croskrey...
Take that away. Yes. Take that away. Take that away. Gene and Panton. Gene and Panton said she said what she said as a result of being influenced by Croskrey. Croskrey instructed her what to say. Father, did you hear that? Better yet, Fitzbailey. Have you heard that? No. You will not hear that. Father, will not hear that. Panton, who has knowledge, inside knowledge as a wealth advisor, she is speaking out that her initial statement claiming that she is responsible to take the money was indeed not the truth. Panton, right, fully explained that she was coerced by who? Croskrey. Fitzbailey. Me see the pulpit a preaching, you see? Hey, me say if God was like man, you're dead over the pulpit. But you're there pulpit a preach. You of all person, Fitzbailey, then I church a preach. That's why I tell you, say, man, if man is like God, at the reach on the church doorstep, you drop down. You're wicked. Yeah, you're wicked and evil. So Fitzbailey, you didn't hear that? No, you didn't hear what Panton said. Panton, who has in-depth knowledge of the runnings, the internal runnings of the system, saying to you. So then, let me ask you a question, Fitzbailey. Did you take a statement from Panton saying that? And so then, that statement now should lead to an interrogation as it relates to you, Croskrey. Mr. Fitzbailey, have you spoken to you, Croskrey? In light of what Ms. Panton said? In any civilized democracy. If Ms. Panton said something like that If the jurisdiction was United States, if the jurisdiction was in the UK, if the jurisdiction was in Canada, an interrogation would pursue as it relates to your custody and the pursuit of evidence as it relates to investigation to either corroborate what Ms. Panton said. If what she said is true in terms of corroborating as it relates to the evidence that would establish. Did you take the time in doing that, Mr. Fitzbailey? At this point, in terms of which I speak, have you spoken to your custody, judging to the fact as it relates to the history, the MO, modus operandi that you would have realized with your custody, knowing to the fact that similar situation as it relates to Pinsa, as it relates to Paul Cheng Young, as it relates to the history where you custody run afoul of previous events. And so then it will make sense as it relates to what Jean and Panton said. Knowing to the fact that you custody has an history. You custody has an history. But no, Fitzbailey, by design, is not a police officer, but he's a political operative of the Jamaica Labour Party. Paul Llewellyn, as we speak, is not really a DPP for the people, but a political operative for the GLP. And so then we know for certainty that birds of a feather flocks together. Now, Miss Paula Llewellyn, Fitzbailey, I am just begin to touch you where it hurts, because the next case that I'm presenting is another mind-boggling case where not only people in Jamaica is wondering what the heck is happening. Why this guy cannot be charged? The affiliation with the Prime Minister is the labor right. The Parliament has not seen this case. Fitzbailey, let us look on this next case. And I'm going to continue to deal with this case until justice delivers. Without any further ado, we're almost full.
Murder most foul. On September 30th, 2016, the body of 51-year-old Jermaine Jr. was found with multiple stab wounds and a single gunshot wound to the head in the reception room of attorney Patrick Bailey, who just happened to be a close friend and lawyer of Prime Minister Andrew Holness. A knife, believed to have been the one used to stab Jermaine Jr., was also found beside the body. Patrick Bailey and Jermaine Jr. had an attorney-client relationship for 20 years prior to the murder. Around 1996, Jermaine Jr. was mistakenly shot multiple times by the police in Hope Pastures, St. Andrew, after they received a report that a robbery had occurred in the area. The police believed Junior matched the description given in the report. Bailey represented Junior in the lawsuit that was filed and won. That's how they became friends. The facts of the case are that while Junior was in the United States, he paid his attorney to buy a property for him. When he returned to Jamaica, he discovered that his money was missing and no property. Junior and Bailey came to an agreement that Junior would stay in one of Bailey's houses until his money was returned. The house Junior stayed was a house in the same yard of Bailey's main house at the back. This was not the first time Bailey was accused of stealing clients' money. In 2015, Bailey was arrested on charges of conspiracy to defraud in connection with a land deal that took place in 1996. The police alleged that a property was transferred to another person without the owner's knowledge. In 2022, Bailey was struck off the roll of attorneys eligible to practice in Jamaica for failure to handing over $17,640 to a client. Bailey collected money from a client and held it on trust. When the person requested the money, Bailey made several promises to hand it over, but that was never done. Bailey also represented Andrew Holness in the purchase of land on which his Beverly Hills mansion is built, via a St. Lucia registered company that Andrew set up to purchase the land while he was on a visit to Jamaica, as falsely written on the purchase documents. Documents from the National Land Agency showed that Bailey was the attorney who witnessed the notation at the time the property was being transferred. On the night of the murder, Bailey told the police that he stumbled on the body at 4 a.m. and had not heard anything. Bailey claimed that he was fast asleep when the killing occurred. The police said that there were no signs of forced entry. Police Commissioner Major General Anderson is cousin to Andrew Holness. For some reason, Bailey was immediately ruled out as a suspect. The morning after the murder, Bailey was reported to be unwell, and his doctor, who also happened to be one of Bailey's clients, Jeff the Ford, informed the police that he should be confined to bed and was not fit to give a statement at the time. In 2014, Jeff the Ford was found guilty of corruption after he tried to bribe a police officer to release 2 Surinamese men who were caught with nearly $60 million. He was sentenced to 6 months in prison. It is alleged that the JLP Member of Parliament, and attorney Orlando Terrelonge, who is the legal partner of Bailey, was involved in the murder of Junior. The police reported at the time that men from the Umbrella Gang, in Orlando Terrelonge's constituency, were under investigation for Jermaine Jr.'s murder. Orlando Terrelonge, who is openly gay, is alleged to have been in a sexual relationship with Patrick Bailey. According to Jermaine Jr.'s brother, David Roberts, it makes no sense to seek justice because nothing will come of it. The police damn know who did it. The police have faced public criticisms over their handling of the investigation. The average Jamaican citizen would not get off this case as easy as Bailey has. Corruption permeates the legal system. It will only end when Jamaicans say, enough is enough.
Well, Jamaica, we are here today, and we have seen that in spite of all the evil that covered the land of Jamaica, Father God is fighting for us, because we are seeing that they're slowly crumbling. Now we have moved one of the obstacles, which is Paula Llewellyn, and I can say this to Paula Llewellyn, that as long as you live, you will never ever put back your foot into the DPP's office. Me the bet you that. Now, let us show you the antics with Paula. The antics with Paula, where again, so many mishaps that Paula had done. And so then for this new DPP, right, it's endorsing Paula years of service to be so shiny and so forth. No. No. So DPP, right, Ms. Thompson, as you started out of the block wrong. You get me? Okay. So let us look at this case. Let us look at this case, people. This is serious. This case that I'm going to show is very serious. Look at this case. Let us read this case because this is just unbelievable as it relates to Paula Lovelin. DPP defends rape trial despite DNA shocker. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Director of Public Prosecutions Paula Lovelin is standing by her decision to continue the prosecution of the 2 men charged with the rape of 5 women in St. James, despite despite DNA samples not matching the 2 accused. Can you believe this, people? Let us read about that over. Let us try to make this thinking in our head. Director of Public Prosecution Paula Lovelin is standing by her decision to continue the prosecution of the 2 men charged with rape of 5 women in St. James, despite DNA samples not matching the 2 accused. Now you tell me, you have a strong scientific evidence, right, as it relates to swabs, as it relates to bodily fluid that was swabs collected, and where DNA has been proven that the person that you have in custody or the person that you have charged, right, are not the culprits, and you, Paula Lovelin, still decide to proceed. Let us read on. Given the circumstances of the case, the public interest and the nature of the other evidence, we would be disturbing the role of the Supreme Trial, the judge, if we were to stop the prosecution, Lovelin told the Sunday Gleaner. Given the circumstances of the case, the public interest. Hold on. Let me ask a question right here, sir. I think you decide a case on the credibility of the evidence. How the public interest has to do with this in terms of you making a decision on a particular case. You have a case in front of you as it relates to a rape case. In the initial investigation, swabbing and all of those things would be done, right, to collect bodily fluid that passed between the rapist and the person being raped. That would be now carefully collected, put in evidence. Now, the professional persons would have now tested the evidence and realized that, okay, the samples that we collected is not matching up with the 2 gentlemen that we had pursued. And Paula Lovelin is saying that as a result of the public interest, not as a result of the credibility of the evidence. This is what we can't understand. I can never understand this. I can never understand this. Anyway, let us move on. It is for the judge to hear the evidence and then decide if there is proof beyond doubt. Hold on the Paula Lovelin. Hold on the Paula Lovelin. Me catch you right there, sir. So them case the way you they drop. And you now push them into the judiciary. And you are saying that as much evidence is not there, and you are making the determination that you can lose the case and not giving the judge the opportunity, not giving the case the opportunity to be fully tried. What you say right as now? Let me quote what you say right as now. Quote, open quote. It is for a judge to hear the evidence and then decide if there is proof beyond doubt. So then, Paula Llewellyn, you know things say Andrew Holness statutory declaration that none of them 2021 to 2023, because the 23 can't go certified. You know things say Andrew Holness should be charged. And that's what you say right there, so. It is for a judge to hear the evidence and then decide if there is a proof beyond doubt. Because in this case, if you can collect scientific evidence that tell us, say, watch out, them two money are not guilty, and them two money are do it. No, make you put Andrew Holness statutory declaration in this. Where him can't bring up no form of justification as it relates to illicit enrichment. Why you not decide, say, all right, the police must charge Andrew Holness and put it in the judiciary. And so then the judge must hear the evidence and then decide if there's a proof beyond doubt. Why not do this, Paula Llewellyn? Why not do this? You say this in a Paula Llewellyn. I don't say it. I don't say it. I don't say it. See, you say it, yes, sir. You say it, yes, sir. It is for a judge to hear the evidence and then decide if there is a proof beyond doubt. So the case with Andrew Holness for the corruption prosecutor dropped because it was time overdue as according to them. Why you never put it in the court and for the court to hear the evidence and then decide if there is a proof beyond doubt? We don't understand. We don't understand this, Father. Here you have a case where the scientific evidence is telling you that these are not the men. And you deny the scientific evidence. But reader, added Llewellyn of the incident which attracted national interest last September. So hold on there. Hold on there now. SSL no attract national interest. Paula Llewellyn, may I ask that question? SSL no track national interest. SSL almost make the people them take a run at the bank. The people them almost make a run for the bank, you know, for the banking system, you know. SSL no attract national interest. Boy, may I tell you how you're biased. May I tell you how you're politically connected. Right? Let us read on. Added knowing of the incident which attracted national interest last September after it was disclosed that the 5 females, including an 8-year-old, had been raped. Since last week, when the court was told that the DNA samples suggested that the 2 brothers were not the rapists, legal minds have questioned why the DPP did not withdraw the case. Me want to know. And what basis, Paula Llewellyn, that you would have? What legal basis? When you have scientific evidence that speak contrary, that the gentlemen who you have charged, they are not guilty. But yet you proceed with this in court. And you refuse for Patrick Bailey to be interrogated. Refuse for Andrew Holness to be charged. Knowing to the fact that Andrew Holness cannot explain it well. So how you explain this? How you explain this? How do you explain this? take that away, let me talk to the people. Because that is the final clip for the night, so I want to express myself to the people. My people, can you explain that to me? Because I am so lost. It's like the DPP senile. It's scientific evidence as it relates to the swabs that were collected from the rape victims. That the swabs were tested and proven that these men, the two men who previously charged, were not guilty of the crime. But the DPP still held bent to pursue this is madness as scientific evidence. She said she charges them based on the public view and opinion. Are you serious? That's not a court of law. That's not an evidence. People, Angeli, I thought that certain decision would make on the credibility of the evidence. That is public opinion. And we have this person as our DPP. And worse yet, her successor is speaking such glory of her. Imagine the innocent people in prison because of her. This is crazy, freedom. Freedom, this is crazy. Right? The victims of the rape, the initial investigation, they would have been swabbed. Body fluid would have been collected. It would be properly stored for evidence to be presented. Those swabs were tested. Scientific evidence proved that the men in custody, the men who they charged, weren't the men who had executed such a horrible act on those ladies. But yet, Paula Llewellyn said, push on. So it goes to show you, Jamaica, the tendency, the MO of Paula Llewellyn as it relates to the Vybz Kartel case. The tempted jury, Paula Llewellyn said, push on. So it is not the first Paula Llewellyn has corrupted herself. And if she's ignorant of the law says ignorance of the law is no excuse. So she can't use that as an excuse. You have been appointed into high office to deliver justice for the Jamaican people. But what we have clearly established tonight is to show you the level of immoral act, unethical act. You have lost your moral compass, Paula Llewellyn. And as such, you are not to return to the DPP's office. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say big thanks, for you to come out and support and endorse Mystic Sensation, always presenting the facts as it relates to, very much focused research. And when we find these things, we bring them out and highlight them, right? Not our opinion, not our perception, but utilizing the facts that there is, right? Cases that are evident, right? And present, analyze them, and show you that this DPP, Paula Llewellyn, is politically biased and politically partisan. And so then we can't have a DPP, right, that aligned herself as it relates to the interests of a political party and not the people's interest. So then, my good listeners, I thank you once again to forward on a theme where Mystic Sensation is speaking. Now, Friday, look out for us. You understand, myself, Aromatic, and as usual, Tara J Vlogs. You understand, will be here on Friday. You understand, doing more research and coming out. You understand, stronger and strong. Stronger and stronger, right, for our people. Fighting for justice to make sure that this government, right, as it relates to them failing the trust of the people, betraying the trust of the people, shall be held accountable. This is why we are here. Blessings to you all. And have a good couple of days until I see you back on Friday. Big up on yourself. Love you all. All right.
Okay, guys. So remember the demonstration on May 10th. That will be at the Jamaican Consulate located at 300 East 42nd Street in New York. Remember to come out with your come out in your numbers, and also remember to support the One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation. It's for a worthy cause. Whatever you can give, every little adds up. So go over to Reason with Ratigan website or just type in ojdlf.org, and it's very easy to make the donation. Okay, so whatever little you can give, it adds up over time. It will be very welcome because it's for a worthy cause.
Yes.
Sean Hall, welcome, welcome. Thank you. Happy Wednesday, because I think it's now Wednesday for some people wherever they are. And yes, Sonny, I tend to take a shower and go get something to eat and get a good sleep because I'm so tired. All right, so thanks for efficiency. Okay, Valerie is saying thanks for exposing the efficiency of the DPP.
Blessed Valerie.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate the continued support and endorsement. And welcome to all the new subscribers. Welcome to the Mystic family over here. It's about education so that we can empower people to make educated and intelligent, informed decisions. Unity is strength. We have to unite in this cause. There are other vloggers out there spreading the message. It's one voice, one objective. But people have, as I always say, different ways of presenting the information, but the objective remains the same for the better and brighter future of Jamaica for the next generation. And with that, we're going to say good night and good morning.
All right.
Good night and good morning to everyone, wherever you are. Until Friday, safe travel on the gravel. One love.
Blessings.
Bye.
All right.